right, you guys, question number 7 wants us to find the minimum value. Did I spell minimum incorrectly? I think I did. I apologize. So let's look at what it's a quadratic. A beautiful little quadratic. I can tell by the function it's going to be a positive quadratic. Okay, it's going to have 2 solutions. Go ahead and make sure you can graph this on whatever graphing utility you're using. Here is a beautiful one on the iPad graphing utility. Okay, and then I also graphed this one on, make sure you can see all the zeros again. I know I went over that before. You have a good window. I also graphed this on the graphing calculator, right, because I want to make sure you can find the minimum on the graphing calculator. With this utility, it's super simple. You just double tap and it finds it, and I don't know when TI technology is going to catch up to that, but you can also graph it. I have a good little window here. Sorry, let's move this out of the bright light. Don't go towards the light. There we go. Okay, and if you want to see the window I used, -10 to 20, x scale 1, minimum, y minimum, -200 to 100, y scale 1, and that got me a beautiful little graph. I can obviously see I have 2 real solutions here. So how do you use the graphing calculator to find that minimum? That's what the question's asking for. So second calc, okay, 3 is minimum. And it says left bound. So is this little spider left of the minimum? And yes, he is, so I'm going to hit enter. Now it wants me to put the little spider to the right side of the minimum, so I'm going to move him over here. Yep. Now it says, do you want me to guess? And yes, I want you to guess, although I don't like that it says guess. I wish it would say, do you want me to find the exact answer? Because that's really what I want. And it says, okay, when x is 10, my minimum value is y equals -106. Okay, so my minimum value is 10, my point 10, and -106. Okay, and let's double check with this graphing utility. If you have this free graphing calculator, I know a lot of you do, I think you can just double click, find minima, and up here it tells you, yep, when x equals 10, my y is -106. That's the minimum for that one. A lot easier, but remember, on the ACT, SAT, state tests, things like that, you may not use those types. You must use a regular calculator that has no way of transferring data to somebody else. So the second part of this says prove that this is neither even nor odd by finding f of -x. So if this function, and we've done this a lot in class, is f of x, if I want to find f of -x, I'm going to substitute in a -x for every x negative, right? And there are 3 things, right? If it's an even function, I'm going to get the same exact answer back. If it's an odd function, I'm going to get the same answer back, but it's going to be negative. And if it's neither, I'm not going to get either of those back, right? So I have 3 options here. So let's simplify this. Here's the part, don't get confused about, -x squared, okay? -x times -x is going to be a positive x squared. So this is going to simplify down to just 3x squared, positive. -60 times -x is going to be positive 60x, and plus 194 does not change. So the first question I'm going to ask myself is f of -x, is this answer equal to exactly what I started with? And that's no, because what I started with had a -60x, and my answer here has a positive 60x. So I know it is not even. Okay, now I want to know if it's odd. So I'm going to factor out a negative. I'm going to make this whole polynomial negative. Okay, if I factor out a negative from a positive, it leaves me with a negative. Okay, again, a negative. And also this will be a negative, right? had I have a negative, if this had ended up being exactly the same thing as I started with, it would be odd. But that did not happen, so it is not odd. Therefore, okay, this function is neither even nor odd. Okay? In the f of negative x, what I'm asking for, I would love either one of these would work. If you give me both, I would definitely give you an extra credit point.